Welcome to this episode of Mainline Connect. I'm Jennifer Lynn Robinson, and our guest today is Paula Kielich, the founder and president of Pals for Life. Welcome, Paula.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. I'm so excited to have you here. Pals for Life is a local nonprofit right in the Wayne area that provides therapy animals for different types of events and people that we'll get into more during the episode. So thank you so much. We like to start off our episode with a networking topic, and I'd love to hear, even though I know the answer because I know you, what you think about in-person networking versus social media as far as what's been successful for your organization.
There's absolutely no question that it's the personal one-on-one networking because people give to people. People relate to other people. And when you get to know someone, they're going to support your organization. We have a huge Facebook following. We have 1,700 likes on our Facebook page.
That's great.
When I put something on our Facebook page saying that we have an event or whatever, we might get 1 or 2 people. That's out of 1,700 likes. But when I go to a Chamber of Commerce event or a Wayne Business Association, I get corporate sponsors. I get people coming to my event. I get them talking to other people about my event. So they actually do my job for me.
Right.
It's wonderful. So as far as I'm concerned, there's no question. It's the one-on-one. And you also have to put the time in to go over and over and over. You can't just go to one event once and think it's going to work. You have to play to win, is what I say.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with you. And it always surprises me how many people think otherwise. They think, well, I went to a chamber event and lo and behold, the phone didn't start ringing with tons of business or donations or whatever it is they're looking for. And they don't get that it's a long game.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it sometimes takes years to cultivate. And people don't want to hear that because everyone wants instant success. But you have to start somewhere. And the only way to do it really is time after time after time. Go back, go back, go back. You're going to continue strengthening the bonds with the people you know. And you're also going to make new contacts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that's been super successful for you for Pals for Life.
Very much so.
So tell us about why you decided to start Pals for Life and when did it start?
We started in 1985, so we are 31 years ago. Yes.
I didn't realize it had been around so long.
It really has been. I had a job in corporate America, which was very successful, but I wasn't happy with my job. And I actually had a background with dog training, and I always grew up with pets. And I was walking home from the train one day, and I got this vision in my mind's eye of an old woman holding a dog. And I wondered, are there people out there who could use the companionship of a pet, but because of their circumstances, they couldn't actually have one? So I thought, is there any organization that brings pets to the people who need them? And there was not. So it was really having the right idea at the right time, and it worked out so well. Now we go out to 600 visits every single year. We have 175 volunteers, although I could use twice as many with that many programs that we go to.
Wow, that's amazing. So, it's also amazing nowadays, now that we're in 2016, to think that at the time there was nothing like that out there. Because now it seems like something that you're kind of used to seeing, therapy animals provided for different kinds of activities, at least for, reading and for elderly and rehab and things like that. I know there's some things that you do that are still sort of novel, I think, that we'll talk about. But it's amazing to think that at some point none of that existed, and here we are today, where that's really something that's sort of normal in society, that you say.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's almost now at the place where if a facility doesn't have pets coming to visit, people are like, well, how come you don't have pets coming? Hello? Everybody wants that and everybody needs that.
Yeah, but you were at the forefront of that, which is nice.
It was really, it was just having the right idea at the right time.
At the right time. So what would you say the overall mission is for Pals for Life?
Our mission is really simple. It's bringing pets to those who need them, whether it's someone who's 5 or 105. And animals help in so many ways, but especially because they don't judge. They don't compare you to how you used to be. They don't compare you to how somebody else thinks you ought to be. Bubbles, our little therapy bunny here, he looks at you just the way you are. And he says, you're perfect. You're just the way you are. And that's often the only time people can get that message. And there are so many times where the pets can help and heal, where the most highly trained and well-intentioned person just can't. Especially for people who've had that bond with animals, it's just so important for us to come out and help them.
Yeah, so my next question was going to be about the type of animals you work with, and we want to, of course, make sure Bubbles gets a warm welcome here.
Yes,
the
Bubbles
therapy
is
bunny. But there's lots of other animals you work with as well, so tell us about that.
The majority of our pets are dogs,
and
every breed of dog, from a Yorkshire Terrier up to a Tibetan Mastiff. We have pit bulls in our program. We have every breed. We have cats, we have rabbits, we have guinea pigs. At one point, we had a turtle named Turbo in our program.
Okay.
So we are open to different types of pets. What we are looking for is an animal that's comfortable with, that's friendly,
Sure.
that's comfortable being in a place they've never been to before, and is comfortable being handled by someone they've never seen before.
Okay.
So our dogs need basic obedience, come, sit, and stay.
Yeah.
Cats and the bunnies pretty much laugh at that, but they also need to be comfortable being handled. They need to be comfortable with loud noises.
Okay.
We see how they are with experiences that they might have at a facility. So how are they with a crutch? How are they with a wheelchair? How are they with being held and hugged really hard? How are they with being handled, with their tail being handled, with their ears being handled? So again, we're just looking for a friendly, outgoing pet. What I hear all the time, though, is someone will come up to me and say, oh, my dog is really energetic. He would never be a good therapy dog.
Okay.
And we say, no, not necessarily, because the quiet, sweet dog that's perfect at a nursing home, if we go to a mental health facility for teenagers, they're going to be bored with that dog. They want a dog they can throw the ball with. They want a dog that'll shake hands with them. So it can have different types of personalities, because we have so many different types of facilities that we go to.
Sure.
But again, what we're just basically looking for is friendly, outgoing pets of various kinds.
So what is the process? If somebody has an animal that they think they want to try to put through the program to become a therapy animal for Pals for Life, what would they do?
They would call the office or go on our website, and our website has a volunteer section.
Okay.
And you drop down and you can fill out a volunteer application right there, or you can call the office. And what they would do is bring their pet in for an evaluation. And most of the pets don't pass the first time, but we tell them exactly what they need to do in order to take the next steps. And usually the next time is fine for them to pass. We had one little dachshund, it took him 4 times to come when he was called.
Okay.
We were all applauding when he finally did it. We were like, yay, he finally did it. But it's really the best thing to do is to come on in and get an evaluation, so you can see exactly where your dog stands as far as its progress towards being a therapy pet. We do recommend that dogs be between 1 and 2 years old before they start, because they have to get over the puppy behaviors of chewing and barking and all kinds of, just their general overall joy of life. They need to be able to, we say, reach the age of reason.
Right. That makes sense.
Basically, yes.
Now, as far as the animals, so when you go out to the different sites, do the owners bring the animals out? Do your volunteers bring the animals out, or both?
Most of the time, for the vast majority, it's volunteers who bring out their own pets.
Okay.
So that works out really well.
Okay.
We do have a few dogs where the owners work full time, and myself and my program director, Kristen, have the keys to their house.
Okay.
So we're allowed to dog nap whenever. So we usually will text or email ahead of time and ask if it's a suitable time for the pet. But we also do have a few pets that we can do that. But really, the majority of pets are owned by volunteers.
Okay.
And we do our programs Monday through Saturday, and we do our library programs are usually after work in the evenings. So there's usually a time for anyone, depending upon what their schedule is. Although most of our programs are during the week, during the day. But we do have some evening and weekend programs also.
Okay. So what about for people that either don't have pets, or then there's people like me who, as you know, because you've known me for a while, have pets that would not be therapy pets in a program, would not pass the, no matter how many times they did the behavior. What other opportunities are there for people to get involved with Pals for Life?
We have such a small staff. There's only 2 of us.
Right.
We could use volunteer help. If somebody wants to come in and help us with thank you letters.
Okay.
If somebody wants to help us get auction items for our event. If somebody wants us to help us with decorations for our event. Really, if somebody wants to help us with bookkeeping. We have so many needs at Pals for Life because there's only 2 staff people.
Right.
So there are so many other opportunities for people to help out. Even if it's coming in to help us organize our office, and et cetera. So if someone has some time and some talent, the best thing is to give us a call and talk with us about what it is you have to offer.
Right.
And there's a pretty good chance that we'll be jumping up and down saying, oh yeah, we could use you. Come on down.
Okay. That's great. That's great. So now I know you mentioned, rehab and some senior facilities. Tell us about some of the different visits that you do during the month. What are the types of different activities that you have animals for? We
go to so many different kinds. As you said, nursing homes and rehabilitation centers. We do a lot of work at mental health facilities, a lot. We go to libraries and schools, and children read books to the pets. We go to colleges during exam time, and actually Immaculata College now has us come every single month.
Really?
We do. We go to summer camps during the summertime. We also did our first corporate visit.
Oh, really?
We did.
Okay.
We went to First Resource Bank.
Okay.
We went to 2 of their branches and their corporate headquarters. At the branches, we were interacting with the customers and the staff, and at corporate headquarters, we were interacting with the CEOs and the people behind the scenes, and that was tremendously successful. They're talking about having us come back as well.
That's so nice. Well, tell me how that came about.
It actually came about because John Durso, who you know, through the Chamber of Commerce, we were talking to him about the value of pets, and we were also thinking about changing banks, but he thought, wouldn't it be a great idea for his customers and his staff, because anyone who has stress, first of all, anyone who works has stress, and who doesn't want to see a bunny, and for customers, it was amazing. They would walk in the door and they would stop, and we had a dog and Bubbles and another bunny, and they would stop and they're like, "You have pets here today?" And everybody
just changes their mindset, right?
It does. They were delighted. Instead of just coming in and doing their banking, they stayed, they chatted, they petted the dog, they petted the bunny. It was great. So the bank is also setting themselves apart as somebody who cares about their customers and is doing something different to make the world to make their employees happier, but to make their customers happier too.
I love that idea.
Isn't it awesome?
Yeah.
And the research shows actually that that companies that have people who can have pets, they have less absenteeism, they have less staff turnover. It's really a great idea.
I believe it.
But a lot of facilities don't want to have people come in every single day, so a special occasion, again, everybody's happier when the pets are there.
Yeah.
Even when we do nursing home visits and other facilities, we hear that on the day that we're coming, there's no absenteeism with the staff either. Because
everybody comes in.
Everybody comes. The dogs are coming. The bunnies coming.
Yeah.
It's for everyone. It helps the patients, but it truly helps everyone. It's truly it's great to see.
Yeah.
And just by being themselves. It's fabulous.
I heard about a program in the last couple months through Uber, where you can actually contact Uber and they'll bring in a puppy or puppies to your work facility. They can stay for a certain amount of time, and then Uber will pick them back up and take them back to a rescue. So it showcases the animals, it gets them out, and some socialization and everything that you just talked about with the positives of like a corporate visit. It helps people in the workplace and the customers. And I loved that idea too. I thought that was really fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I said there's something about pets, especially for people who have had them. They treasure them, and and the bond is just incredible. And what we see all the time, I'll go into a nursing home facility, for instance, and everybody's just sitting there and everybody's quiet. As soon as the pets come, it's like you wave the magic wand.
Yeah. And
they're like, "Oh, look, I used to have a dog like that. I wonder what's in the carrier." And the staff is coming, and everybody's coming to see the pets. And it's just, it's really remarkable what the difference is. And it's also quite amazing because it's as low tech as you could possibly get.
Right.
There's no technology, there's no medication. It's just animals being themselves. And
and I think I've told you the story before, when we first got to know each other. I have an accident in my background, and I went to Bryn Mawr Rehab for quite an extended time, and they brought therapy dogs into our facility. And, I was already a dog person, obviously, but to see the difference of people the day the dogs came in every week was exactly what you're describing. I mean, people who were fairly miserable every other day there, who maybe had no interaction with people, would just kind of sit in their wheelchair and not, interact with the world, basically, would just really light up with the animals. And it was a really amazing thing to see.
And there are other effects. We were at Hupp Rehabilitation Hospital, and there was a woman there who had tremendous problem with pain management. And there weren't a lot of people there that day, and she ended up holding Bubbles for about 20 minutes, and all of a sudden she said, "Oh, my pain, it's gone."
Wow.
It's gone. And there was another, actually it's the same facility, it was just so funny. Another person was holding one of our pets, and one of the staff came in and she took the person's blood pressure. And she looked at the reading, she looked at the machine, she whacked the machine, and she tried it again because the woman's blood pressure was lower than it had ever been. And I'm like, well, she's been holding the pet for 20 minutes. But she was literally whacking the machine going, what is wrong with this machine? This can't be right. And I'm like, no, it really is.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it really was. We were all laughing about that.
Yeah.
It was funny.
All those kinds of things have to make you feel so good about what you're doing.
They do. They do. And even another situation we had, I had Bubbles again at Wesley Enhanced Living, a nursing home.
Okay.
And they wheeled a woman in. She said, "I know the bunny's name." I said, "What's the bunny's name?" She said, "Bubbles." I said, "That's right. It is the bunny's name." And the staff person said, "This woman doesn't remember her own name, but she remembers Bubbles' name." And so again, just what the animals are able to accomplish.
Yeah.
just by being themselves. It's really, it can be astonishing, but we see it every single time we go.
Right.
That they help in different ways with different populations.
So, you've told us about some of the things you guys do monthly. Tell us about some of your special events. I know you just finished with your Bow Wow Bingo, which is one of your big signature events. Tell us about that.
Bow Wow Bingo is just amazing. It is fun. It is our signature event because it's bingo with dogs.
Yes.
So we have, anyone can bring their dog as long as it's friendly and housebroken.
Yep.
And we had about 25 dogs there, little ones, big ones, everything in between. We have a parade of pets at intermission. You can't say bingo, you have to say bow wow or bark.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. It's fun. There's 18 games of bingo. There's prizes. There's raffles. It's really just a fun event. We have it every year in March. Our next one is going to be March 4th, 2017. So
wow.
we have our
you already
date.
have your date.
We have our date, and people, as soon as we have it, we have a cult following at this point because they're like, when are you going to have it again? And they put it on their calendars right away. We have about 250 people who come to it, so it's a huge event, and it gets so much support from the community.
And I've been to it, and it's a super fun event.
It really is.
And there's not a lot of events where you can bring your dog.
There aren't.
Especially fundraisers. So I mean, the idea that you can go support a great cause and spend time with your dog, I think it's great.
It is.
So,
it's ridiculous. It's fun. It's fun for the whole family. And we have a lot of young people who come also. We have a bingo dauber art contest for the young people. So there's something for everybody at that event.
And then you also have a fall fundraiser that you do as well, right?
Our next fall fundraiser is Friday, November 4th at the Waynesboro Country Club.
And what's the theme?
The theme this year is a tailgate party.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yes, WIP Sports Radio personalities will be there. Ray Didinger is actually he and his wife are volunteers of ours.
Okay.
So WIP Sports Radio personalities will be there. We'll have tailgate food. People can wear their Eagles stuff, their Flyers stuff, their Phillies stuff. We can go rah-rah for Philadelphia teams. But it's really going to be a fun event. We'll have our Pals for Life therapy pets there.
Okay.
Bubbles will be there so you can meet him in person. And it's just a really great event. Open food, open bar, live and silent auction. We're always looking for items for that as well. But it's a great event, and we're looking forward to that as well.
Anything else coming up for Pals for Life that you would want to mention?
We do. On May 18th, the Talbots in Paoli is having a Pals for Life Day.
Okay.
So from 4 until 7, you can come to the Talbots, and we get 10% of whatever people.
That's great.
Yeah, it's great. And
it adds up. I've done those events for fundraisers
gosh.
before. It really adds up to a fair amount of money.
We did that another time. It raised us $1,000. So hold off for your spring wardrobe and come to Talbot's on May 18th, the one right on Lancaster Avenue in Paoli.
In Paoli, yeah. And that's good timing, too, because that's actually, now that I think of it, maybe a week or two before Ladies' Hat Day at the Devon Horse Show. So, keep that in mind.
Perfect.
You can get your Ladies' Hat Day outfit, which Talbot has tons of stuff you could wear for that. Then wear it to Ladies' Hat Day.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that'll be great. So you have that coming up, and then I know sometimes you do the dining out kind of events. Do you have anything like that coming up?
I don't have one scheduled yet for that, but we often do, and that'll be posted on our website.
Okay.
And the other thing that people can do, if they like us on Facebook, it's great because we post all of our events, and the dining out is a favorite because all you do, we have a restaurant, and everybody goes that night, eat out with your friends.
Right, it's
and
the easiest thing.
It is, and we get a really nice contribution from that. So it really is. But the best thing to do is like us on Facebook, and that will keep you up to date on our activities. The other thing we do on our Facebook page is we also try to post events from other animal organizations.
Okay.
So if something else is going on that you might find is fun, whether there's a dog walk or something going on with a breed rescue, chances are you can find out about it on our Facebook page. So we'd like to be just a information, not just about Pals for Life, but about other pet-related events. So
that actually ties into my next question. I know that you're Wayne-based, the organization, but you yourself are very community-oriented. And I'm wondering how that's played into the success of Pals for Life. Like, why is it so important to you to be tied into local community, and how has that helped the success of the organization? Especially because we are volunteer oriented. We need volunteers. We're always looking for new volunteers, not only because of the number of places that we go to, but volunteers move away. Volunteers' pets unfortunately pass on. We always need to replace volunteers that we've had sometimes for years and years and years. And again, the way that we get
get that is through the community. And also, and people don't like to hear this because they hear it so often, but without fundraising, we just can't exist. We have got to put gas in our cars. We have to have liability insurance for all of our programs. We have to raise money. So the community has just been outstanding. Most of the businesses and retail organizations support us throughout the Wayne. Alicia at Cocoa Blue, Braxton's Animal Works, Luella, Jeremy over at Farnan Jewelers. Then I could go down the Harvest Bread, Au Petit Delice. They are all Margaret Quo's. They are all wonderful supporters of ours. We just couldn't exist without them. And the other organization that has been outstanding, I cannot say enough about it, is the Mainline Chamber of Commerce.
They've really been supportive of you.
They are huge. At our Bow Wow Bingo event, we had corporate sponsors, we had game sponsors. One of their staff members bought a table. We also had a situation where the MC for my event, the Wednesday before my event, he had a family emergency. He had to go to Florida, and I needed an MC. I made one call to someone that I knew at the chamber, and he was actually going to be away for the day, but he changed all of his plans. Then the day before my event, so he had a family emergency he had to cancel.
Oh, no.
And yes, I was like, this is the day before my event. The president of the Chamber of Commerce, Bernie Dagenet, called and said,
nice.
He's fabulous. He says, I heard you need an MC. I'm happy to step in.
How nice is that?
It was incredible.
He probably did a fabulous job.
He did.
Yeah.
He was
I could see him being great at that. Yeah.
So the Mainline, that was the single best business decision I've ever made, is to become a member of the Chamber of Commerce, because there's just so many really wonderful, caring people there, and they just helped me in so many different ways. 2 of my board members are members of the Chamber. So there's just, again, it goes back to the relationships.
Right.
And that's really, now we've been members of the Chamber for 15 years.
Right.
So again, these are relationships that have built up over the years, but the Chamber makes the opportunities available for people to make the relationships. So I cannot stress too highly to come to an event and even talk to me about it, because I can probably get you to, I would come to an event to make sure that you know somebody there.
Sure.
And it's just, but
Make
it's all
people feel
about
welcome.
relationships. So I met you through the Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely.
I'm in the cross-industry group at the Chamber because of you.
Right.
So it really...
it all comes full circle. Talk a little, too, because I know you're so involved with the Chamber, about the nonprofit roundtable for the Chamber, because I think there's definitely people out there that either, are on the board of a nonprofit or volunteer, maybe run a local nonprofit, that may not be aware that they have that resource available, if they join the Chamber, that's such a great resource for nonprofits.
It's awesome. Number one, it's free to go to, which is the nonprofit's favorite word. They just had, the last one was getting your word out to the media, and they had
J.B. Braun.
Yeah, J.B. Braun was there from Mainline Times, and they are doing a story about Pals for Life. Actually, in either this issue or the next one, there'll be a story about us, and they posted our Bow Wow Bingo on their Facebook page, which was great. We had someone from channel the public television, the radio. I forget her name, but she was on to tell us, how do you get your story on the radio?
I think it was it Cherry Gregg?
Yes, it was Cherry. Yes, it was, exactly.
Yeah.
And the one coming up, which is in April, and I think it's April, usually the third Friday, is free stuff for nonprofits.
Oh,
now, who wouldn't want to know what free resources there are for nonprofits? So it's every other month, except during the summer. They take a little bit of a break. But it's always outstanding, and the speakers are outstanding, and there's always something that I go away with something that's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so helpful to me.
And they do all different topics, grants, fundraising, media, as you said, all kinds of different stuff. Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah.
And so just, especially if you're a member of the Chamber, you go on their events calendar, and they have for the entire year what the title events are going to be, and you can look and see which ones will be helpful to your organization.
That's great. So, one of the things that always struck me about you from the time I met you was just the level of passion that you have for what you do. I've gotten to know you, but then I see you at different events, especially Chamber events, and I just see the passion that comes out when you talk about what you do, like almost like you're an attorney and you have to convince people about your way of thinking about how wonderful this organization is, and they absolutely have to get involved and help, and everybody does, which I find amazing. It's a great cause, but there's lots of great causes out there. So I'm just curious about kind of where that passion comes from. Is there anything in your background that, made you think that this cause was going to be something that was personal to your heart, or is it just that you're passionate about everything you do, or your love of animals? I just want to hear more about it.
Well, I grew up with animals. We always had animals in our family, and as with every everyone who grows up, you have your challenges, and I always found my dog to be my best friend, my keeper of my secrets. Whenever I needed someone to talk to or cry with or whatever, it was my dog who got me through some challenging times. So I've always had that bond with pets. And as far as passion, you get your passion, I think, from your experiences. Every single time I go out on a pet visit, I am renewed, and I see what it is that the pets do for people, and it is something that it makes me want to do it again, and it makes me want to get as many people involved. The other thing that's so great about our pet visits, it's hard to see who's having more fun. The pet, the volunteer who's so proud of their pet, or the people who are the beneficiaries, who are our clients that we're going to see. So it's just, I don't want to say it's a love fest, but it really is. It's just spectacular. And I also find that as far as life is concerned, you in many ways you find you make life from what comes from within. Right. So I'm also a member of a chorus. I love to sing.
That's right.
And I'm actually the team coordinator for the chorus.
Okay.
So, if you jump in with both feet, you get out of life what you put into life, and also do what you want to do. I mean, if I was a lawyer, I would be miserable. When I was in corporate America, I was miserable. I had a great job. I had a salary that I still can hope to approach, but I was miserable. I did not like what I was doing.
Right.
So I also find in life, find your own joy, find your passion, sit back and say, what makes me happy? And go in that direction. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
Why
spend too much time on your work,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes a challenge. I know for me personally, I was not married, I didn't have children. I was able to take a risk starting my own organization because if it failed, no one else was depending on me.
Right.
So I absolutely understand that. But if you have in your capability the opportunity to follow what you want to do, I have never for one day regretted what I do because I would never do anything else.
Right.
Because I am doing what I can't imagine.
I can't imagine you doing anything else.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I love it. It is what I love to do.
It's great advice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's shift gears a little, kind of along the same lines of what you were just saying about finding your joy. What is on your bucket list that's not related to the business? What is something that you want to do? I know you love to travel.
I do.
Yeah.
And every year I want to go someplace that I've never been before.
So where is it this year?
Canadian Rockies.
Okay.
So I can't wait to go. And you go on the train to the Canadian Rockies, and you go to Banff National Park and Victoria and some of the other national parks. So I cannot wait. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. It was really way up there. And so now I have the opportunity to go. Last year it was Wales. The year before that it was Tahiti. So really, I just want to see places I've never been before and experience cultures I might not ever have had the chance to experience, eat the local food, and walk in their sun and breathe their air. So that is just something
that's a great goal.
Yeah, it really is. And it's achievable. It's something I find, even if it's someplace close by, as long as it's someplace I've never been before, it's what I would like to do.
Now, do you take that kind of trip the same time every year, or it just depends on your schedule?
Usually in the summer, because that's also the times when it's in between my fundraisers, and we have a little bit of a break for pet visits. So most of the time, it's in the summertime.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So we're nearing the end, so I want to make sure people know how to reach you. I know you talked about the Facebook page, but yeah, if you want to tell our viewers, the contact information for the website or anything else that would be helpful for them to know if they'd like to bring in a potential therapy animal or volunteer or help fundraise or any of the things that you talked about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our phone number is 610-687-1101. I'll repeat that, 610-687-1101. Our website is www.palsforlife.org. And the Facebook page, put in Pals for Life, Wayne, Pennsylvania, because there's some other Pals for Life organizations elsewhere in the country. But we would love to hear from you, whether it's being a volunteer or helping us out in any way that you possibly can, or giving us some financial support. You can do that on our website as well. If you like what we do, come on and see us and contact us, because there's always a way that you can help us out.
Wonderful. And we want to give another plug. It's May 18th, correct? At
Yes,
Talbot's.
at Talbot's.
So be sure to go out 3 to 7 p.m. Is
Yes.
that right? Okay. And 10% of the proceeds will go back for Pals for Life. And thank you so much, Mr. Bubbles. Is it Mr. Bubbles?
It's just Bubbles.
Bubbles.
He goes by anything now.
Bubbles. Thank you, Bubbles, for being here today, and thank you, Paula, for being here today. And please check out Pals for Life if this is the first time you're hearing about it. It's a wonderful organization. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.